Welcome to Sri Chaitanya. This is Uma Shankaral, India IIT coordinator. Welcome to JEE Max season number 2, JEE Mains Advanced Extreme Series. This is the last lesson of complex numbers. This is lesson number 62. So far, we have successfully completed 61 lessons. With this lesson, everything that we have covered from the complex numbers, which is very, very important chapter in entire mathematics. So, my friends, I have given all that information, A to Z information, and I have solved a very good number of problems, and I have completed every problem from your icon integrated textbook. Why I am very much interested on solving the icon integrated textbook means majority of the students are neglecting that part. My suggestion would be, if you have mastered the problems, including the workload examples, along with the theory, then only you will get the subject, 100% knowledge and command on the subject. In that aspect only, I tried my level best service, and this is the last lesson. And in this last lesson, we are completely concentrating on solving problem number 24 to 25 of icon integrated textbook exercise 5.2. See 24th problem. First question. It is somehow a different question. So read the question properly. Prove that sum of the series sin of alpha plus beta plus x square by factorial to sin of alpha plus 2 beta and so on up to infinity equal to e power x cos beta sin of alpha plus x sin beta. Yeah, getting immediate idea for to solve this problem, it is somehow different and difficult to anyone else. But only with experience only one can get idea. But while looking the factors on each and every term, then only you will get an idea that, okay, it is the sign batch always the imaginary part of e power I alpha. And x plus x square by factorial, x cube by factorial, something that should come in the expansion of e power x. If you are good at the expansions and the imaginary parts of Euler's form, then only by mixing these two and by applying the algebraic manipulations, then only you can get the result. So for that, I am doing my level best explanation for you. Before that, you please remember this formula. So 1 plus x by factorial 1 plus x square by factorial 2 plus x cube by factorial 3 and so on plus x power n by factorial n and so on up to infinity. This entire infinite series can be represented with what? E power x. So if any series in the form, then immediately you can write that series as what? E power x. In sigma notation, we can also represent that as what? Sigma n is equal to 0 to infinity. X power n by factorial. Okay. And moreover, imaginary part of e power I alpha is equal to sin alpha. Because what is e power I alpha? Cos alpha plus I sin alpha. Imaginary part of e power I alpha is sin alpha. Clear? These 2 points are very, very important. They act and they give very good support for you for solving this problem. Now see, I have considered this summation as S infinity. I have considered this. I have considered sigma n is equal to 0 to infinity x power n by factorial n e power I alpha plus n beta. What is e power I alpha plus n beta? If I have run the show, this is nothing but what? 1 plus x by factorial 1 e power I alpha plus beta plus x square by factorial 2 e power I alpha plus 2 beta plus x cube by factorial 3 e power I alpha plus 3 beta plus and so on infinity. This is the thing. If I have, what is real part of this entire series? Real part is 1 plus x by factorial 1 cos alpha plus beta plus x square by factorial 2 cos alpha plus 2 beta plus x cube by factorial 3 cos alpha plus 3 beta and so on. What is imaginary part? Sin alpha plus beta plus x square by factorial 2 sin alpha plus. That's why I have considered this. And this e power I into alpha plus n beta, that I can write it as I kept it because here n is the only variable, because in the sigma notation n is the variable. So other than the variable, I have kept outside of the sigma. So e power I alpha into sigma n is equal to 0 to infinity x e power n beta whole power n. This looks like what? X power n by factorial, just like in our previous. Like whenever it is like this I can write it as e power x. So since in the place of x, here it is x e power I beta, So this I can write it as e power I alpha into e power x e power I beta. Again e power I beta, that is e power I alpha into x into e power x into e power I beta means cos beta plus I sin beta. That is again separate both separate this again I can write it as what, e power x cos beta into e power I into x plus alpha plus x sin beta. So e power x cos beta into, now it is in the form of again e power I theta. This is cos theta plus I sin theta. Now what to do? You collect the imaginary part. What is my imaginary part? That sign batch. What is that sign batch? Sin alpha plus beta plus x square by factorial 2 sin alpha plus 2 beta and so on. So what is that one? That is nothing but the imaginary part in this one is what? E power x cos beta into sin of alpha plus x sin beta. This is the result. So it is very difficult to anybody to get this idea immediately, but with the practice only you can get. That's why I have introduced those notations before solving the problem itself. Now, coming to the 24th problem, second. Prove that z is equal to, if z is equal to 1 plus I cot alpha whole power 1 plus I tan beta, if that is the complex number given for you, then absolute value of that complex number is this one, and argument of that complex number is this one. But my friends, there is some mistake in the question. I mean answer especially, not question. Okay, I will explain. Suppose given this is equal to, so Euler's form. What is Euler's form of 1 plus I cot alpha? So mod r into cos theta plus I sin theta. What is r? Root of 1 plus cot square alpha into cos of tan inverse of cot alpha plus I sin of tan inverse of cot alpha. That tan inverse of cot alpha I can write it as tan pi by 2 minus alpha. So tan inverse of tan pi by 2 minus alpha is pi by 2 minus alpha. So this can be written as root of 1 plus cot square alpha is cosecant square alpha, that is cosecant alpha into, because my alpha and beta are in the first quadrant, not necessary to write plus or minus or something. So it is plus only. So cosecant alpha into cos of pi by 2 minus alpha plus I sin pi by 2 minus alpha. Again cos pi by 2 minus alpha plus I sin pi by 2 minus alpha, that I can write it as e power I pi by 2 minus alpha. That is Euler's form. Okay. Now, let z is equal to 1 plus I cot alpha whole power 1 plus I tan beta. So, this 1 plus I cot alpha, this I can write cosecant alpha e power I pi by 2 minus alpha whole power 1 plus I tan beta. Now, you multiply with I pi by 2 minus alpha with 1 plus I tan beta, and you separate the terms separately, then it becomes what? Cosecant to the power of 1 plus I tan beta into e power alpha minus pi by 2 tan beta into e power pi I into pi by 2 minus alpha, because I into I square means minus 1, that minus I have sent in the bracket, therefore pi by 2 minus alpha becomes what? Alpha minus pi by 2. So ultimately what I am doing is, this is e power something plus e power something, therefore e power 1 plus I tan beta log cosecant alpha base e. Okay, because this how can I write? This how can I write? Because what is my a? A can be written as e power log a base e, like this. This cosecant alpha whole power 1 plus I tan beta, I have written that as what? E power 1 plus I tan beta into log of cosecant alpha, because e power 1 plus I tan beta log cosecant alpha is nothing but what? E power log cosecant alpha whole power 1 plus I tan beta. Therefore, that is cosecant alpha whole power 1 plus I tan beta. So this term I have written like this. E power alpha minus pi by 2 tan beta into e power I pi by 2 minus alpha. So this is nothing but e power, again I have multiplied the terms, e power log cosecant alpha into e power alpha minus pi by 2 tan beta into e power, that I batch I have taken separately, and I have adding the terms of I terms separately. Therefore, my z is equal to ultimately what I got? Cosecant alpha into, because what is a power log x base a, that is x only, or e power log a base e equal to what? A only, like this. So this is cosecant alpha e power alpha minus pi by 2 tan beta into e power this plus this I into. Again it is in the form of what? E power I theta. This is cos theta plus I sin theta. but I am least bothered about it because I want what modulus. My modulus is this one, and my argument is this one. So my argument is this one, and my modulus is one. One shot, two birds. So here, just I have applied all the fundamentals of exponential and logarithmic functions and their properties. Okay. Now, next one. Again, this was the important question, and they asked this question in one of the JEE advanced examination also. Read the statement properly. Alpha equal to e power I 2 pi by 2 pi I by 7. That means indirectly what is given? Alpha is the seventh root of unity. And f of x is given as a naught plus sigma k equal to 1 to 20 ak x power k. Then find the value of f of x plus f of alpha x plus and so on plus f of alpha power 6x, which is we have to show that independent of alpha. Okay. So this is the thing that we have to find. This I have written as sigma r is equal to 0 to 6 f of alpha power r x. What is f of alpha power r x? F of x is this one. F of alpha power r x is nothing but what? A naught plus sigma k equal to 1 to 20 ak alpha power r x whole power k. First you find the summation in the bracket. Forget about outside sigma. Or you better is you separate the sigma. Now here I have separated the sigma. Sigma r is equal to 0 to 6 a naught. Okay. Here double sigma comes. One is sigma k equal to 1 to 20 ak, because here k is the variable. That's why. And you just write sigma r is equal to 0 to 6 alpha power r, because r is here. That's why I have interchanged the sigma. So r is equal to 0 to 6 alpha power r x whole power k. It is nothing but what? A geometric progression. Geometric progression, sum of the roots, kth powers of the roots, or sum of the kth powers of the terms in GP. So this again I can write it as, because these are all are the constant, a naught is constant. So sigma r is equal to 0 to 6 means 7. So 7 a naught. And this is sigma k equal to 1 to 20 ak. If I have taken x power k common, I can get 1 plus alpha power k, alpha power 2 and so on, alpha power 6k. This is what? In GP. So GP, sum to 7 terms in GP, r power 1 minus r power 7, that means r means alpha power k, whole power 7 by 1 minus alpha power k. Because this is what? 7th roots of unity. If alpha is 7th root of unity, then alpha power 7k equal to 1. So the numerator, this becomes 0. So the entire summation becomes 0. So ultimately you got what? 7a naught only, which is what? Independent of alpha. There is no alpha term involved in the answer. So my friends, again, it is what? A brilliant question mixing up with what is called application of geometrical progression. See, in entire complex numbers, we have applied several times the essence of geometric progression and its application and its summations. So you need to practice, because all the things occurs for complex nth roots of unity or nth roots of unity or some other roots of complex numbers problems. Okay, better you practice this kind of models, if any, if occur in any other what is called textbooks also, and even in examination also. You master these problems, because in general they should ask this kind of questions only. Hope you like this video. If you like this, please share and subscribe my channel, and please don't forget to press the bell icon. This is the way we are completing the topic. My friends, here I am giving this A to Z information on entire complex numbers. Okay, you just by taking this as an essence, you put everything on paper and thoroughly solve each and every paper on own. By taking this as a hint only, then only you will get the subject knowledge. Okay, with my own interest only, I am giving and I am providing this information for you. Please don't misuse it. Okay, my friends, we will meet with the next topic soon. Thank you.